So if someone were to ask you, hey, looking for a new knife? You might reply, yo, does Chuck Norris have a death wish? And I'd be like, actually that's Charles Bronson's. So the answer is no? And then you're like, the answer is yes, dude, I am looking for a new knife. I just got my 70s and 80s action movies screwed up. So I'm about to get Delta Force if you don't stop talking to yourself. Oh, okay, cool. Well, check out Ganzo's new folder, the G724M, which has a price right out of the 1970s. The 724 is a locking, folding pocket knife with a blade made of the extremely budget-conscious 440C stainless steel. It's a drop point blade with an HRC of plus or minus 58. The G724 uses a lock created in the style of an Axis lock. Or maybe it's on loan, or it's a homage, or I don't know, a huge coincidence. But functionally, it keeps the blade nice and in place. Since it is a pocket knife, you won't be surprised to learn it has a stainless steel clip that only allows for tip-up carry. Or maybe you are surprised because you haven't been paying attention, you were searching for a video about the Muppets. So only a tip-up carry, but at least you can swap the clip orientation to either the right or left side. I'd like to say that I wish it had all four choices, but I don't really use them. Tip up, tip down, right or left, like with my Endura 4. But since I've never changed that, I'd probably be a liar if I said it was something I was looking for. But for speed's sakes, I prefer tip up in my right pocket because I'm right-handed and it makes it easier to open whenever you pull it out of your pocket. And the G724 allows it, so I'm cool with that. The handle is made out of FRN. It's slightly textured with some cross-hatching. It's not the grippiest of surfaces. It's on par with my Endura 4, maybe just a little less grippy because the texturing isn't quite as nice. So, what about the dimensions and the weight? Using my cheap eBay measuring device as a guide, here you go. In inches and millimeters. My measurements tend to be just a little generous. Accuracy of measuring devices may vary because my shit's not professionally calibrated and it's cheap. Alright, cool. Now it's time to discuss my feelings. Oh, no, it's not that kind of video. Sorry, feelings about a knife, which is the only sort of feelings a person should discuss, right? Or just keep it to themselves, whatever. I'm not your life coach. The handle to blade ratio is nice. I can make a fist around the handle nicely, so for cutting or chopping or conducting a really metal symphony, I find it perfect. Okay, so how about the blade? How freaking sharp is it? It's pretty sharp right out of the tiny box. With just a tad of effort, you can remove hair from your arm. Not whisker shaving sharp, though. Paper, cardboard, vegetables, no problem. Or eating dinner if you're that kind of person. One side is laser engraved with the Ganzo logo, and the other side is a tiny denotation of the model number and blade steel type. I camp and I hike a lot, and I'd have no problem using this for the biggest task I normally use a knife for during the day, cutting my apple. The blade isn't quite big enough to go all the way through, but close enough to work well. Here it is, compared to my Endura 4 for a frame of reference. So what about blade play? Well, there's none on my sample. It has a stainless steel liner and looks well centered inside when closed, so there's no metal on metal action, which may come to the disappointment of some of my robot audience. The thumb studs are plenty wide enough, presumably because it was designed by a human who uses a knife occasionally. There's a little resistance at first and a bit more force with the follow through, and then you're there. It's actually less awkward to open than my Endura. It's not as buttery, which I hope is an acceptable adjective to describe a knife, but it's still easier. Anything else to note? Well, you got a paracord hole in the back and that bump for breaking glass, which I won't actually try because there are much better suited things to break glass than a tiny bump on the back of a knife. The Ganzo G724 comes in 3 colors at the time of this review. The black was reviewed here, but there's also a green and orange. It's a very, very decent knife for under 15 bucks. May even call it awesome knife for under 15 bucks. It has a fit and finish on par with my Endura 4. It's cheap because it doesn't have fancy blade material, not because it's a bad knife. Oh wait, let me put it this way. It's like Death Wish 1 and not Death Wish 5. So, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like seeing reviews like this, and browse my channel for more reviews of multi-tools, knives, headlamps, flashlights, and more. And watch out because zombies, chainsaw murders, and more bad jokes lurk in my videos.